Good afternoon. We would like to start. Please sit down. I'll call you. May I ask everyone to sit down? אחר הצהריים טובים, אורחים נכבדים. Good afternoon, dear guests. מר דן דוד, פרופסור דני לויתן, רקטור האוניברסיטה, חתני פרס דן דוד לשנת 2010, גבירותיי ורבותיי. לאור העובדה שחתני פרס דן דוד אינם שולטים בשפה העברית, הטקס ינוהל ברובו בשפה האנגלית. מיסטר דן דוד, פרופסור דני לויתן, רקטור of Tel Aviv University, laureates of the 2010 Dan David Prize, ladies and gentlemen. This ceremony consists of two parts, the awarding of scholarships for young researchers and the awarding of prizes for the best essay on the theme of Name Your Hero written by high school students. We will commence with the Mia Fisher Scholarship established by Mr. Dan David to commemorate the honor of his late wife, Mia Fisher, who was a very successful businesswoman. This scholarship is awarded annually to a female PhD student at the Leon Recanati Graduate School of Business Administration, Faculty of Management at Tel Aviv University. I now invite Mr. Dan David and the scholarship recipient, Ms. Liat Kaufman, to the stage.
מה כאן? טוב, ערב טוב. אני מדבר עברית, ויותר קל לי לדבר באנגלית, אז אני אעבור לאנגלית. A few words only. A few words about Mia. I met Mia in 1954. She was such a talented person, so gifted. She spoke 5 languages perfectly. She worked with me. She shared all my interests, all my activities. When I start reading a book, when I reach the half of the book, I cut it in 2 and I gave her the first half to read and to continue. Part of my success is due to Mia, because really, she was my wife, but she was also my partner. And this until the 15th of April, 1978. We were on a working trip, as we used to do around the world. We left Rome for London, London for New York, working London, New York. From there, we had to go to Cleveland to visit a manufacturer of bill acceptors. We went to Miami. And then, before continuing to Los Angeles and to Tokyo, and then back to Europe, all for working purposes in our different companies, we decided to take a few days, 4 days of resting in Cancun in Mexico. And there, in Cancun, we swam and we lied on the beach. And at the age of 49, on the beach, Mia closed her eyes and didn't reopen them. She died on the beach in Cancun in a few minutes. A doctor came and nothing could be done to save her. So I decided to help young students, hoping that they will be able to repeat the same success in business management as Mia did. And I hope that Liat Kaufman here will follow the example of Mia. And I wish you all the success, and I would like you to say a few words about yourself. All my congratulations.
Dear Mr. Dan David, I would like to express my deepest appreciation for receiving this scholarship on behalf of Mia Fisher. Upon completion of my first degree studies in industrial engineering and management and my MBA studies at the Tel Aviv University, I worked in a variety of fields adjacent to management, from supply chain management, sales, and up to project management in high-tech companies. I encountered many different management approaches, different business structures, and many different management tools. However, I came to realize that my quest for knowledge and the academic environment of information, research, and science are a part of me and a way of living, and not just a path for me to receive a degree. Nowadays, I am a mother to a 3.5-year-old princess named Leah, and along with raising her, it is my aspiration to study the world of business and its practices. Although, through the use of scientific tools, I aspire to reveal new knowledge that will help management practices, hopefully benefiting society in Israel and around the world. I intend to research the field of organizational behavior under the guidance of Professor Yoav Ganzach, and plan to devote myself to research and learning. I am more than honored to receive this scholarship on behalf of Mia Fisher. I've been told that this scholarship is given to women researchers in the field of business administration, and I'm honored to accept this scholarship on behalf of women in the business field. I intend to be worthy and show research results that are both interesting, inspiring, and practical. Many thanks, Liat.
I have the pleasure of inviting the Rector of Tel Aviv University, Professor Dani Leviatan, and the 2010 Dan David Prize laureates to the stage to take their seats at the head table. So please. Thank you. First, let me thank the laureates of the 2010 Dan David Prize for joining us in this scholarship award ceremony for young researchers. You, the laureates, donate 10% of your prize to support young researchers in their doctoral or postdoctoral training. I will therefore kindly ask you a little later to please award the scholarship to the recipients. I now call upon Professor Dani Leviatan to deliver his address.
Mr. Dan David, distinguished 2010 Dan David Prize laureates, recipients of the Young Researcher Scholarships, proud family members, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin to speak, I would like to say a few words about yesterday's ceremony, yesterday's evening. I've taken part in this ceremony 5 times as rector, but this one was very special for me. This one was the first time I handed the prize to a teacher of mine, Professor Michael Rabin, who is sitting here. Whom I admired as a student, whom I consider as one of the greatest Israeli mathematicians and computer scientists, and who was one of the people who have influenced my life most. Thank you, Michael, again. It is a great pleasure for me to take part in this ceremony, and it is a great pleasure to see these most promising young men and women who are early in their scientific career but have already accomplished so much to be deserving this prestigious award. I wish all the young recipients of the Dan David Fellowships that you will go on to make new discoveries, new great achievements, and who knows, maybe someday you will be Dan David Prize laureates. We wish you all good luck and success in the future. Take example of the people sitting here and follow the path. Thank you.
Before we invite the scholarship recipients to receive their certificates, let me tell you briefly about the procedure according to which the scholarship recipients are selected. An academic committee was appointed by the rector of Tel Aviv University. This committee was headed by the vice rector, Professor Aaron Shai, and was composed of Professor Isaac Witz, the scientific advisor of the Dan David Prize, and senior faculty members who are experts in the specific field of the Dan David Prize for the given year. Scholastic excellence is always the major criterion for selection. Scholarships are awarded to young researchers from Tel Aviv University and from other universities in Israel and abroad. This year marked a record in the number of applications received, over 130. The committee members worked extremely hard to select the most worthy candidates. We will now begin with the awarding of the scholarships. It has become a tradition that the Dan David Prize laureates award the scholarship in their respected fields. I will first call upon Professor Dani Leviatan, Rector of Tel Aviv University, to award the scholarship to the young researchers for the pastime dimension in the field of March Toward Democracy on behalf of the past recipient Giorgio Napolitano, President of the Republic of Italy. The scholarship recipients are Anat Asher, Department of Philosophy, Tel Aviv University. Dotan Leshem, Minerva Center for Humanities, Tel Aviv University. David Mano, Department of History, School of Historical Studies, Tel Aviv University. Franklin Obeng Udum, Department of Political Economy, University of Sydney. He came straight from Australia. Thank you. Jennifer Ozer, Federman School of Public Policy and Government, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Thank you. Scholarships in this category have also been awarded to Yuval Giovanni Institute for Advanced Study, Princeton School of Social Science, Brigitte Weifen, Department of Politics and Management, University of Constance. We now proceed to award the scholarship for the present time dimension of the 2010 Dan David Prize in the field of literature rendition of the 20th century. I would like to ask Ms. Margaret Atwood and Mr. Amitav Ghosh to please award the scholarships. Ms. Atwood will award the scholarship to Dalit Alperovich, Department of English and American Studies, Tel Aviv University. Uri Hollander, Department of Hebrew Literature, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Thank you, Ms. Atwood. Mr. Amitav Ghosh will award the scholarship to Yael Mish'ali, Department of Literature, Tel Aviv University. Rachel Verdiger Stepak, the Chaim Rosenberg School for Jewish Studies, Tel Aviv University. Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. Scholarship in this category have also been awarded to Sarah Jeffries, Department of Comparative Literature, University of Alberta, and David Mermer, Department of English Program in Communication and Culture, York University. I now request Professor Kleinrock and Professor Rabin to please award a scholarship to young researchers for the future time dimension in the field of computers and telecommunications. Professor Kleinrock will award the scholarship to Ido Ben Eliezer, Blavatnik School of Computer Science, Tel Aviv University. Inbal Friedler, School of Electrical Engineering, Physical Electronics, Tel Aviv University. She's not here? Okay. Michael Hemmer, Blavatnik School of Computer Science, Tel Aviv University. Thank you, Professor Kleinrock. Professor Rabin will award a scholarship to Shachar Lovet, Department of Computer Science, Weizmann Institute of Science. Noah Segal Agmon, Department of Computer Science and Applied Mathematics, Weizmann Institute of Science. Yes, your daughter. Yes. Accepting the award on behalf of Ms. Segal Agmon is her father, Mr. Menachem Segal. Yedael Waldman, Blavatnik School of Computer Science, Tel Aviv University. Thank you, Professor Rabin. Scholarships in this category have also been awarded to Matthew Oberhard, Department of Biomedical Engineering, University of Virginia. And now I wish to kindly request Dotan Leshem to address the audience on behalf of the scholarship recipients. Dotan.
Rector, Professor Dani Leviatan, Mr. Dan David, the founder of the Dan David Prize, esteemed laureates of the Dan David Prize, beloved family members, dear guests. I am honored by the opportunity that has been given to me to give thanks on behalf of this year's recipients of the Dan David Prize scholarships. I wish to thank the Dan David Foundation and its founder, Mr. Dan David, for this generous enterprise, Tel Aviv University for hosting the Dan David Prize, and this year's Dan David Prize laureates, Giorgio Napolitani, Margaret Atwood, Amitav Ghosh, Leonard Kleinrock, Gordon Moore, and Michael Rabin, who have become part of the benevolent tradition of donating 10% of their awards as scholarship to doctoral and postdoctoral students in the chosen fields. It seems to me that in awarding these scholarships today, we celebrate the spirit of the Dan David Prize. The laureates are donating, in the present, part of their awards for past achievements, thus enabling the recipients to pursue their intellectual interests and contribute to the community of future knowledge. We are grateful for the opportunity to partake in this tradition on the receiving end, and hope that we will not forget our debt when our generation has a chance to pass on the wisdom and resources that were handed to us. I am sure that I speak on behalf of all my fellow recipients in taking this opportunity to give thanks to you, our loved ones. In choosing the path of academia, we are at times faced with doubts, frustration, and sacrifices, financial as well as others. We could not have achieved what we have without you, and the honor is all yours. As some of my family do not speak English, I would like to thank them briefly in Hebrew. ברצוני לנצל הזדמנות זו ולהודות בשם מקבלי מלגת פרס דן דוד ליקירינו על התמיכה והאהבה שהם מעניקים לנו במהלך השנים הארוכות של המחקר. הכבוד והיקר לו זכינו בערב זה הוא כולו שלכם. לא היינו עושים זאת בלעדיכם, ואיקונו, אין סיכוי שנצליח לעשות זאת לבד גם בעתיד. On a more personal note, I wish to thank Tel Aviv University and the Minerva Center for the Humanities for having provided a nurturing academic home and a thought-provoking atmosphere. Since the field in which I was selected is past, the march towards democracy, I wish to share with you some brief reflections on this topic. My thoughts focus on democracies in our past. It seems to me that if we wish to sustain and advance the never-ending march towards democracy, our first step should be directed towards our past. It is here where history reigns supreme. We are not the first generation to enjoy and zealously strive to protect the freedom that we now so cherish, namely man's legal, political, and economic liberties, the freedom of thought, and the pursuit of happiness. I believe that a humble and careful examination of past attempts, notwithstanding their success and failures, can assist us greatly with the challenges presented to us by the present and future ongoing march towards democracy, not just as a streaming fountain of inspiration, but also as offering old answers to new questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Datan. Thank you, Professor Leviatan and the Dan David Prize laureates. May I ask you kindly to return to your seats? Thank you very much.